Hello, Thumpers, and welcome back to another trailer reaction from Hyper RPG. This is my most anticipated trailer, my most anticipated movie of the year, Dunkirk, the official trailer, the new film from Christopher Nolan. I would say this is really like his first jump into doing some sort of a true-ish story, because it is based on a true story. I'm Adam Havik, joined here with
Dustin Butler.
Cameron Rice.
I would say The Prestige has elements of truth to it.
That is true.
You got Tesla in there.
That's true.
It's a little bit of fanciful fiction, I would call it.
It is.
Or nonfiction, rather.
I guess, yeah, because most of the stuff that Christopher Nolan has done, it's been sci-fi, fantasy, or superhero stuff. I feel like this is the first movie since maybe like The Prestige that's been... That movie also has an element of fantasy to it, but I feel like this one is maybe the one that will have the most sort of grounded story because of the fact that it is a World War II story based on actual events.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is definitely his first take on like a realistic, I guess, adaptation.
Yeah.
I think...
I remember Insomnia was a cop movie.
Oh, that is true.
Yep.
Yeah. He's been wanting to do a World War II movie for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think the thing that excites me most about Dunkirk is the fact that it is World War II. It's very different from what we've previously seen from him, and it's a different era. And I think a lot of people who really, for the most part, have enjoyed Christopher Nolan movies after Interstellar wanted to see him do something maybe a little bit more smaller scale.
Yes.
That's really geared towards character, because I feel like he does character well for the most part in most of his movies, but I feel like Interstellar was the most disconnected thing for a lot of people that he did. Whereas this, we can really focus on an event. And it's not he says it's not a war movie. It's very much driven by these people that are involved in this movie. So we'll see. We'll see. Shall we?
Let's do this.
All right, here we go.
What has happened is a colossal military disaster. We shall go on to the end. We shall never surrender.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Ugh.
The call went out. We have to go to Dunkirk. Ready on the stern line.
What are you doing? You know where we're going.
Into war, George.
I'll be useful, sir.
One of ours.
He's on me. I'm on him.
Ugh.
Oh, my God.
The ship's about to leave.
Time to go.
Oh, my God.
They need to send more ships. Every hour the enemy pushes closer. They've activated the civilian boats. Civilians? We need destroyers. Where are we going?
Dunkirk.
I'm not going back. If we go there, we'll die.
You're weekend sailors, not the bloody Navy.
You should be at home.
There's no hiding from this, son. We have a job to do. Turn it around!
We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall never surrender. We shall never surrender.
Oh, my God.
We shall never surrender.
Whoa.
Oh, the fear of drowning.
I know.
Whew.
70mm 35.
Woo!
Wow.
I'm
That
100% seeing
trailer has a lot of intensity. It's a very different trailer from movies like Interstellar, from movies like Inception, where those have a very rapid kind of a pace.
Yeah.
Whereas this one's kind of like we're building and building and building and building and building. What that's going to lead towards, you're gonna have to come see the movie and find out, which I think is very interesting.
Yeah, I think it does a good job of also selling this as or portraying this as a broader conflict. Like it's focused on this town,
right?
But you've got the civilians and you've got the boats, and it's like this multifaceted kind of event.
Yeah, it'll also be interesting to see a modern big budget war movie that's not focused on the American perspective.
Right.
I mean, there's been other British war films, but it's like as far as like the last 10 or 15 years.
Yeah.
After like Saving Private Ryan, there was a lot of like the Americans perspective. So it's very interesting for me to see that. I think this looks great. I love the cinematography. I think it's Hoyt van Hoytema, who did Interstellar, Spectre, a number of other movies. He's become Christopher Nolan's new guy.
Yeah.
It looks gorgeous.
Looks gorgeous.
And the first trailer was very much like, kind of like a here's who's in the cast, and you kind of get a sense of tone. This one was, I feel like, much more story based in the sense where it's like, and obviously it's not going to be the whole movie, but if a good chunk of this movie is like following civilians trying to help, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like that's the heart of the movie. I think that's fascinating. I like Mark Rylance being seemingly the main guy of the civilians. And Tom Hardy in a plane. I can't hate that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I love the soldier. I forget the actor's name, who was like, "We're not going back."
James Darcy, I think his name is.
No,
no.
Cillian Murphy.
Yes.
Oh,
Cillian
Murphy.
Yeah. So his character just being like, "I'm not going back there." That's such an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
And then the other big news was that Harry Styles is in this
You got a
film.
haircut? Oh,
Yeah.
he's in the movie.
He's in this movie?
Yeah, he's in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right, Kim. I think the thing that interests me very much is the fact that it is this big budget World War II film that doesn't necessarily, in the trailers at least, deal or show kind of the war, World War II, from America's perspective.
Right.
It's very much about France and these 400,000 men who tried to leave Dunkirk and what did that kind of entail, and not just the soldiers, all the civilians, like you guys were pointing out. These people who, I don't want to say that we forget about these people in war, but they are more overlooked than I would say the soldiers, because the soldiers are the ones who are deep in fighting and they're really putting in there.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting to see how did something like World War II affect the little guy or the little town, the people who really kind of were the ones who were defenseless. What does that do to you? What does that do to you as a people, as a community? What do you really have to go to, or what do these people really go through to try to get the hell out of there? That's really interesting. And yeah, like we're going to see this we got Kenneth Branagh, we got Mark Rylance, Cillian Murphy, James Darcy, Tom Hardy, Harry Styles. So many different elements in this movie. Is it going to be little bits and pieces of seeing everybody? How is that all going to tie together at the end?
I'm really curious, and I'm wondering if it's this thought just occurred to me. I wonder if it's the trailer has like an element of desperation.
Yes.
That's what I would say. Like what that buildup is more just kind of like the more desperate it gets. So I'm wondering if each character's arc becomes more desperate and they interact maybe around one of those civilian ships.
Yeah.
Also, all that underwater stuff was like,
Oh my
being
God.
trapped in a boat while it's sinking.
And it was canted, so the water's going up like that.
Yep.
Oh.
And that's the thing. And I think that's the thing that we all know about Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan likes to shoot as much in camera as possible, and really only using visual effects to enhance things when he needs to.
Yes.
And this movie, I think,
It looks like a lot of in camera.
a lot of in camera, and I think 80 to 85% of this movie was shot in IMAX. Hoyt van Hoytema was carrying this like 65+ pound rig on his shoulder every day. A lot of handheld stuff. So I think we're going to really feel it, especially if you can find an IMAX screen that is a really big IMAX screen. You're really going to get a sense. You're really going to feel like you're transported into the movie, and that's the thing that I love about Christopher Nolan. The thing that he does. Maybe some of the movies are not up to par like his other ones, but you always feel like you are transported into the world, and I think that's a really important thing to have as the director. But overall, I can't wait to see it. I'm really excited for it.
Super excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see this bad boy in IMAX. I think since Dark Knight, I've not missed a Nolan film in IMAX.
Yeah, agreed. Good point. Good point.
So good.
Guys, let us know in the comments below what you thought about this new trailer for Dunkirk. Are you excited to see it? What are you most looking forward to seeing? What are you hoping to see in terms of the IMAX technology? What are you hoping that they do with these cameras? They said that they treat them like GoPros. That's going to be really interesting to see. Make sure you guys also check out the Patreon. We launched a brand new Patreon. If you guys want to join the Patreon, we can do some customized trailer reactions for you guys. Check in the description below for the link, or click over on the right-hand side. Also, make sure you subscribe. Check out all the other videos we are doing here at Hyper RPG. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next reaction.
Later.